thiodo. You chose hydroxyl, and it is correct.
What does FACE stand for?
Strong choice. Potential hydrogen is the right answer.
Lime converts hydrogen to?
You're right.
Water is the correct answer.
Soil is mostly made of dash. Nicely done. Mineral particles is a solid answer. The FACE scale is a range from... Clear logic. Your choice 014 is sound and 100% true. Basic formula for silicates.
Smart move. 4 is an accurate answer.
Organisms that aerate the soil.
Perfect. Ants is the correct choice. Farmers refer to compost as dash.
Bravo, black gold is the answer.
Nitrification happens in the dash? Nice work. You chose soil and it is correct.
What do the letters FITCH stand for?
Great job. Potential hydrogen is the accurate answer.
Fertilizer applied while planting.
Exactly. Starter makes sense and it is right choice. What is the main component of soil?
Valid point. Rock particles is true.
Most plants grow best in what FH range?
Good thinking. 5.0 7.0 is the right answer.
Organisms that need nitrogen to survive.
Well picked. All living organisms is the correct answer.
Which element causes soil to appear red?
Smart pick. Iron is the correct choice.
Measures nutrient levels in plant tissue.
Good job. Your answer tissue testing works well here.
A substance used to resist change in Phe.
Excellent. Buffer is a brilliant choice.
Which one of these is not a macronutrient?
Right choice. Boron is the best answer.
What type of soil water is used by plants?
Solid response. Capillary is a valid choice.
If a soil or solution is alkaline, then it is?
Great thinking. Above 8 fetch is the right choice.
Fertilizer applied before a crop is planted.
Nice selection. Pre-plant is the correct and valid answer.
Fertilizer placed in the row with the seeds.
Right again. Pop-up is a valid answer. It is needed for all plant growth processes. On track, nitrogen is the correct answer.
Most abundant soil group in the Philippines.
Excellent choice. Ultisols is the right answer.
Gravitational water moves more rapidly due to.
You got it. Your choice large pore space is right.
Soil water has certain functions in the soil.
Correct response. Infiltration is the most accurate answer. The layer of soil which the topsoil is found. Sharp thinking. Horizon A is the right choice. Which of the following is a neutral Phe reading? Well done. 7.0 is the right choice. Decayed organic material in soil is called dash. Well reasoned. Humus is the correct choice.
Spreading fertilizer evenly on the soil surface.
Correct. Broadcasting is the right answer. Brown compost material is rich in which element? excellent choice? Carbon is the right answer.
Soil formation begins with the weathering of dash.
Well reasoned. Rock is the correct choice. Which three nutrients are non-fertilizer nutrients? Correct response. Carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen is the most accurate answer. The following are products of decomposition except. Perfect. Oxygen is the correct choice. Which of the following is a characteristic of silt? Smart move. Improves water holding capacity is an accurate answer.
Which three nutrients are secondary macronutrients?
Nice selection. Calcium, magnesium, and sulfur is the correct and valid answer.
Which is not an example of a brown compost material?
Good thinking. Coffee is the right answer. Method of injecting fertilizer into irrigation water. Valid point. Fertigation is true. Fertilizing after the crop has emerged from the ground. Nicely done. Post-emergence is a solid answer. Dash is the conversion of organic nitrogen into ammonia. Good job. Your answer ammonification works well here. Produced by plants and animals, of plant or animal origin. Bravo. Organic is the answer. Organisms that break down organic materials into nutrients. Right again. Worms is a valid answer. Phosphate deficiency is seen by what coloring of the plant? Correct. Purple is the right answer. An electronic device used to measure electrical conductivity. Solid response. Conductivity tester is a valid choice. This refers to a type of water that can escape from the soil. Clear logic. Your choice gravitational is sound and 100% true. The deposition of leached material in the lower layers of soil. Nice work. You chose eluviation and it is correct. The property or power of conducting heat, electricity, or sound. Great thinking. Conductivity is the right choice. The process in which nitrogen circulates and is recycled is called dash. Right choice. The nitrogen cycle is the best answer. Which of the following Fay readings would indicate that a soil is acidic? Exactly. 6.0 makes sense and it is right choice. What is the property of water that allows it to stick to other surfaces? Sharp thinking. Adhesion is the right choice. Dash nutrients have been identified as being essential for plant growth. Excellent. 17 is a brilliant choice. Which of the following forms of lime would act the fastest on acidic soil? Smart pick. Finely ground is the correct choice. Which of the following is not a primary nutrient required for plant growth? You got it. Your choice sodium is right. Amount of material required to increase the soil test to the desired level. On track. Buildup is the correct answer. Fertilizing after the planting, but before the crop emerges from the ground. Great job. Pre-emergence is the accurate answer. In order to increase water retention, you should add the following to soil. You're right. Organic matter is the correct answer. An element or compound in a soil that is essential for the growth of a plant.
You chose nutrient, and it is correct.
Properties of soil can be observed and measured. Which is a property of soil?
Strong choice. Texture is the right answer. The presence or absence of mountains and valleys is also involved in soil formation. Well done. Topography is the right choice. The two main factors that determine the rate of weathering are the type of rock and dash. Well picked. Climate is the correct answer. What is the soil texture name if the soil consists of 60% sand, 25% silt, and 15% clay? Sharp thinking. Sandy loam is the right choice. An atom or a group of atoms carrying an electrical charge, which may be positive or negative. You're right. Ion is the correct answer. Micronutrients that involved in nitrogen metabolism, essential in nitrogen fixation by legumes. Great job. Molybdenum is the accurate answer.
A soil with an exchangeable sodium percentage of 15% or greater and a pH between 9.5 and 10.2.
Good thinking. Sodic soil is the right answer. What is the process of combining nitrogen gas with other elements to make nitrogen into usable compounds?
Right choice. Nitrogen fixation is the best answer. A soil containing soluble salts in such quantities that they interfere with the growth of most crop plants.
Well reasoned. Saline soil is the correct choice. What process occurs when dead plant and animal matter decomposes and nitrogen is released back into the atmosphere? Clear logic. Your choice denitrification is sound and 100% true. A colorless, odorless, flammable gas, the lightest of the elements that combine chemically with oxygen to form water. Excellent. Hydrogen is a brilliant choice. Soil is made of dash, dash. Great thinking. All of the above is the right choice. What is the name of soil Horizon B?
You got it. Your choice subsoil is right.
A correct path that nitrogen could take would be on track. Air bacteria plants animals is the correct answer. Which horizon is made up of partially weathered rocks? Correct response. Horizon C is the most accurate answer. How much of the atmosphere is composed of nitrogen gas? Correct. 78% is the right answer. According to this diagram, plants use nitrogen to make dash. Exactly. Proteins make sense, and it is right choice. Which horizon contains clay, silt, minerals, and a little humus? Excellent choice. Horizon B is the right answer. The forces of attraction between water molecules due to polarity are called. Nice work. You chose hydrogen bonds, and it is correct. Organisms that break down dead plants, animals, and release nitrogen back into atmosphere. Dash. Right again. Bacteria is a valid answer. A soil layer with physical and chemical properties that differ from those soil layers above and below it? Well picked. Soil horizon is the correct answer. Based on this diagram, which of the following can you infer is the chemical formula for gaseous nitrogen? On. Bravo, nay is the answer. How you will get all these quiz questions in PDF, books format? Well done. Contact Narayan Changder is the right choice.